Hey guys, so today's video is going to be my first ever full face of first impressions video. I've seen quite a few other people do these videos and I really enjoy watching them, so I thought I would do one myself. I can't believe I've actually never done one before. That's pretty crazy considering I've been making videos for nearly 9 years now. That is mad. But yeah, so it's the first one I've ever done. I've got a makeup bag full of new products here. It has my name on it. How cool is that? Yeah, I have a makeup bag full of new makeup here, including brushes and tools as well. Some high end, some low end, ranging from like Armani and Guerlain to Bourjois, L'Oreal, bits and bobs like that. So yeah, this is the final look. If you want to see what products I used to put on my face this morning and what I thought about it, then keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm trying out is the new L'Oreal Infallible Mattifying Primer. Not usually, I'm kind of like hit and miss with mattifying primers because I don't love matte skin, but equally, I don't want to look shiny, so I'm kind of, sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. This actually feels like a moisturiser. It feels really nice. And I'm assuming that it like dries down matte because it is not looking or feeling matte at all at the moment. We shall see. Give it a minute. Yeah, I quite like that. It feels quite silicone-y on my hands there. I like want to wash my hands now in a little bit. I'm also using this sponge, which I have not tried before. This is the Real Techniques diamond shaped sponge. It's from the limited edition Blush Crush range. I actually have a few of their brushes as well to try out. But this I was intrigued by because the shape of it is not very like ergonomic to your face. I think the point's going to be good, but this end, I don't know, we will see. And I'm using the new-ish Armani Face Fabric Foundation. I think this was like a re-release because people were going crazy about it on the internet, but I haven't actually tried it yet. It's almost, I've tried it on the back of my hand and it's almost like, it has like a primer kind of texture to it. So I'm just gonna smash a bit of this on. What shade have I got? I think it's, is it 4? No, 2. Shade 2. Seems to be a pretty good match actually. It's very light coverage, I will say that. Kind of want to apply it with my fingers a bit as well. Yeah, it's really silicone-y. It feels like a silicone primer. It also feels like I've got it on my nose. I'm not sure I love the way it feels with my fingers, but I definitely like the way it looks on my skin. But it is very, very light coverage. It's kind of like a tinted moisturiser slash tinted primer. Like I could definitely put foundation on top of this as well. I'm going to put a bit more on. As for the sponge, I mean, I quite like it. And it kind of works quite well if you like grip it and bend that side like that. But I do think the original shape is probably a bit better, even though this looks cool because it's like a giant diamond. All in all, that foundation, it's very, very natural. A little bit too natural for me. I probably wouldn't buy it, I have to say. Moving on to concealer. I'm actually really excited about this. This is the new Estee Lauder Double Wear Custom Coverage Correcting Duo. And they have 2 concealers on here. One of them is full coverage and the other one is light coverage. So the full coverage one is the shiny end and the light coverage is the matte end. I'm going to put a little bit of the light coverage one under my eyes. And this is in the shade Peach Light Medium. This sponge works really well under your eyes as well because it's actually like a lot more of a pointy end than the circular ones have. I quite like this concealer too. It's on the end of my nose because I've got a bit too much under my eye. And sorry if I'm like looking down slightly, I've got my mirror here, so that is what I'm looking at so I can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, I like that concealer. I like it. And then I'm going to put some of the higher coverage stuff around my nose. This is also definitely a different colour to the lighter coverage one. It's definitely more peachy. The higher coverage end is definitely darker than the lighter coverage end. Sounds weird, but I actually think that these are different shades as well. Let's put them next to each other. Yeah, the higher coverage one is definitely more peachy, which I actually don't like. I prefer if the higher coverage one, if it was almost the other way around. I'm gonna mix them together and just put some over my cheeks. Yeah, quite like that, but I actually think I prefer just the concealer and then you can get the right colour because for me, I like the light coverage colour, but I want like full coverage as well, if you see what I mean. So maybe I'll just layer it up. Because I would use this colour rather than the peachy one's a little bit dark. Yeah, I think I prefer just the single concealer in that. Okay, so I also have new blusher, bronzer and powder. I'm going to do the bronzer first. And I'm actually using the new Real Techniques Blush Crush powder brush. This is the 300 brush. This is super, super soft. Like, they didn't look this soft in the packet, but I quite like the glittery handle as well. It's like super girly. And I'm using the Guerlain Terracotta Light powder. But they change these every time I've had these. I've tried them before, but I haven't had the one with the like pink in it, I don't think. So it's kind of a first impression for this one, but kind of not, because I've definitely had something similar before, but I haven't had this specific one. And because it's the light one, I reckon it's going to be quite light, as the name would suggest, so I don't have to be too careful with it. And the smell of these, if anyone's ever tried the terracotta bronzers, I'm not sure about the smell. They're very, very perfumed. And apparently they changed the smell, or they wanted to change the smell once, but people love it. It's like an iconic product, so they love the smell. But for me, I don't know if I really like the smell. It smells like old-fashioned perfume. I quite like that, actually. It's very light and natural, but it's like a nice tone. I think having the pink in there like softens it a little bit. I like that a lot. Definitely that will be going in my makeup bag. And then for blusher, I have the Bare Minerals Gen Nude, and this is in Cool My Blush. The colours of this range are all beautiful, but I thought this one was the most kind of me. And again, using the Real Techniques, this is the blush brush. Oh, I like the brush a lot. It's a good level of pigmentation as well, this blush. It's like halfway. Sometimes I find, like, if you use, say, like the NARS blushes or whatever, in the darker colours, sometimes they can be a little bit too much. Whereas this is like, it's pigmented, but it's not like, bam, too much, and then you have to, like, backtrack. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That one is added to the makeup bag stash as well. And then I'm also going to pop on a little bit of powder. This is a new powder to me as well. This is the Bourjois Air Matte. Haven't tried this before. It says up to 14 hours. One thing, it looks like quite a good colour match actually. It smells amazing. It smells like fruity. I'm going to use the other side of my powder brush and just put it on my nose, under eyes, and on my forehead a little bit as well. I'm not going to put any more on because it's very matte. Quite nice though for a high street one. Quite like that. Then I'm going to do my brows. I've actually got two new brow products, and they're not new releases, but they're new to me because they're new shades. The first one, they're both from Hourglass, and the first one is the Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil. I've used this before, but in a different colour. This is the Soft Brunette I'm using. It's quite a cool tone. And then I'm also using the Soft Brunette Brow Volumizing Fibre Gel, which I have never used before. So let's see what these are like. I'm not overly usually a fan of these like chunky slanted pencils. I used to really like them until I started using the really, really fine ones, and then I prefer those. But these are good if you're like in a big hurry, because you can kind of draw the line in. But they're a little bit less subtle than using like a really, really fine pencil. It's quite a good colour actually. Then I'm going to brush. It comes with like a brush on the end, which I actually do quite like the brush on the end of this because it's quite big but quite soft. All right. I do still think I prefer my skinny brow pencil, but you know, I'm biased when it comes to brow products because I designed like what I like using, whereas this is a little bit chunky. But yeah, good. Nice, nice. And then for the gel, whoa, this has got an interesting brush. It's like long on one end and short on the other. Don't know, I need to get closer to my mirror really, but it'll go out of focus, so see how we get along. I'm always wary with these type of products of getting the tint on my skin, like around my eyebrows. It's quite nice actually. I feel like it could do with having a smaller brush though. Yeah, brows done. I think I like them. And then what else have I got to try? I'm actually really excited for this. I've got the new Naked Petite Heat. This is the mini version of the Naked Heat palette. The Naked Heat palette went absolutely mental like when it came out, which was about a year ago. And I have to say, I really love the mini palettes. Like they did this with the Naked 2, they did like the mini one and they're all matte, and I actually really, really love that because they're so much more handbag friendly, and they tend to choose really good colours. So in this, I've actually swatched it on my fingers and the pigmentation is, as you would expect from Urban Decay, amazing. But yeah, I actually really like the selection of colours, with the exception of this one, which is Wild Thing, which is like really orange. I wouldn't use that. But all of the others, it's really nice, warm, kind of, I don't know, like really warm, nice warm neutrals, in the way that a lot of the Naked Heat shades, I probably wouldn't have worn that much because they're a bit too like red, like this one, like coppery. But I really like this selection. They're all matte except for this palest one, which is Inhale, which is a really beautiful, just like slightly luminous colour. Again, I've got the shadow brush from the Real Techniques Blush Crush collection. I'm going to use Inhale first. I've only got one eyeshadow brush actually, but we can do it. One brusher. And then I'm going to put that all over. This is such a nice colour. I really, really like this colour. It's just kind of glowy. Liking it a lot. And then I'm going to take the next shade, which is Vibrate, and put that on the outer half of my eyelid, which is, it's kind of like a, for me, like a skin tone colour, but just slightly warmer, slightly deeper. It's like one shade deeper, so it's a good like halfway house blending colour. And then I'm also going to use the Hot Spell, which is the next one, and just put that in my socket line. And this is quite a lot warmer. This is kind of like a terracotta-y type shade. Put a little bit in there and then go back and blend it. I like that. I think I'm going to like this palette. Probably not as much as the Naked 2 Basics one, like the little one, but yeah, I like it. I also really like this colour, but I don't have a little detail brush, so I'm going to use this eyeliner instead, which is the Bourjois Ombre Smoky Eyeshadow and Liner. Well, I'm going to use it as a liner. This is in 02 Brown. It's like an eyeliner and it has a little smudger on the end. So I'm going to use this underneath my lash line and then smudge it. Oh wait, hang on. The smudger has come off because it has a little sharpener on the end as well. I'm going to smudge it with that. I quite like this actually. It's very smudgy, which I was expecting considering it's an eyeshadow eyeliner kind of duo product. I don't really like the smudger though. It's not very accurate. I'd prefer to use a brush, but seeing as this is a full face of first impressions and I don't have a new smudger brush, this will do. I like the colour though. It's kind of like got a purpley hue to it. I don't know if this looks a bit orangey, this eyeshadow. What do you guys think? It looks different when I go like from one side to the other. I'm gonna use my finger to smudge it now. Nice, I like that. I might also put it on the waterline as well. It doesn't transfer very well. Doesn't transfer very well onto your waterline at all. Yeah, I like that. Not like massively blown away, but it's nice. And then for mascara, I'm using the new, I think it's new, Elizabeth Arden Standing Ovation mascara. I don't know. I swear I used something similar to this before, but I thought this was new. It was sent as a new release. We'll try it out. Let's give it a go. It's got quite like a bristly brush. It's not a plastic brush. It's like a natural fibre, although it's probably not natural, but you know what I mean, like a fibre-y brush. It's quite nice actually, quite volumizing, but not like crazy. It's quite fluttery looking lashes. I think if you built it up you'd get some really decent volume, but it's not giving me, oh, I just got some on my eyelid. It's not giving me like a crazy amount of volume. Yeah, no, I think this is like a nice everyday mascara, but it's not like, it's not going to knock your socks off type situation. It's not very different to the Benefit one that I've been using recently that's like, wow, a lot of volume. I'm getting it all over my face at the same time. Nice. I'm liking this mascara. It's probably not my new favourite, but I definitely like it. And then lastly, for lipstick, this is actually the thing that I'm most excited to try out of this whole video, I think. This is a Dolce & Gabbana lipstick. Never tried one of these before. I don't actually know what the name of the type of lipstick is called, but it's the one that comes in the black tube with like the engraved Dolce on the front. And this is called Dolce Peony, and it is the most beautiful mauvey pink colour I've ever seen. It smells like traditional lipstick kind of vibe, and this is part of their spring collection, so it's new out. I've got the driest lips as well though. I've put lip balm on before, but I might still have a problem with my dry lips. That's such a nice colour. I don't normally go for matte in this type of colour either. And this is a matte lipstick. Nice. I'm not sure it goes with the eyeshadow very well because this is quite like pinky and this is quite orangey, but this is my full face of first impressions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely out of the ones that I've tried, I think my favourites and the ones that will be in my makeup bag, Decay Petite Heat, definitely. The Bare Minerals blusher I really love. And then I also really like the Guerlain Terracotta Bronzer. Not such a fan of the base or the double concealer. It's definitely not like as high coverage as I would want. Although I have to say, on camera, you can't see as well things that I'd want covering up. Like I've got a little spot here, one on my nose that I can still see in the mirror, but I don't know if you'll be able to see them on camera. The powder's probably a little bit matte. The primer's quite nice, but it didn't blow me away. But I was surprised by the fact that I like it. Oh, and I like the sponge as well. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you liked it. It's the first one of these I've ever done. And I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.